Ahoy! Captain Cole speaking. If you could please keep all hands and feet off the keyboard while watching this video, that would be great. This is a behind the scenes of the Love Will Keep Us Together music video that we made over the summer. And a little bit about our favorite parts and how insane it is and the making of.
I was just asking you a second ago, I'm trying to remember how we came to covering this song in the first place. I think that it was just we were listening to and remarking on how much we enjoyed the song, and then one of the two of us found Neil Sedaka's live recording of this from some televised something, and it brought so much joy.
Yes, Captain and Tanil made this song famous to the world, but Neil Sedaka wrote it years before and performed it, and I did not know this. Sydney did. But we watched a video of him singing it. We'll probably insert a little bit of that clip.
Yes.
It is just so wonderful, and it made us fall in love with the song even more. And then we thought it would be amazing to cover it and make a ridiculous video around it.
Yep.
The song is so much about like happiness and being in love that I just wanted to flip it on its head and make a video where we were basically trying to kill each other.
Keep in mind, this was also in the middle of the pandemic, and we'd been spending a fair amount of time in close quarters losing our minds a little bit. So we live close to Lake Travis, close to Austin, and Cole's family has a boat, and so we thought, it's hot enough as it is outside. Why don't we turn this into something that's both safe for us to do with a small group of people, but also really fun and enjoyable during the summertime. And so we shot the whole thing on Cole's boat, essentially, out on the lake, and it was quite a time.
It was. Yes, it was crazy. First of all, shout out to Zach Freeman,
we love you, Zach.
Yes, he's the person who shot the video. He did a wonderful job and shot it under very hot circumstances. It was the hottest, it was maybe the hottest day up until that point that we had. Okay, so we are going to take you behind the scenes from beginning to end of this video and let you in on some of the inner workings of how we made it, some of the difficulties we had, and some of the funny moments. Sydney, how did the day start that day?
Well, the first shot that you see in the video is, what time was it probably when we were shooting that at that point?
I think like 8:15 is when we started.
So that very first opening shot was at about 8:15, which meant that in order for all of us to get together, for us to get down to the lake, get the boat ready, everything, we were up before sunrise getting all of this prepped with donuts and coffee and all of that, getting out to the boat. Cole's cousin also has another boat, and so she was also up because Zach, our filmmaker, was on the opposite boat to get this opening shot of us sitting in the boat in front of this giant mansion that's behind us. So the amount of orchestration that got even just up to that point was quite a bit of putting things in order. And then we were finally just sitting, bobbing there in front of the house for quite a while. And I think that, you said that for you and William, smoking cigars that early in the morning was a little rough.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest waking up, eating a bunch of sugary donut holes, and then smoking an entire cigar immediately, but that's what happened. Also, fun fact, that mansion that we are in front of is owned by the guy who owns Mattress Firm. So if you're looking for a firm mattress...
or if you're trying to figure out how to get yourself a big mansion, you need to sell yourself a bunch of mattresses.
Yes. But yeah, smoking cigars early in the morning, would not recommend. 0 out of 10.
You and I are both huge Wes Anderson fans.
Yes.
And so there was discussion around the style of the filming for this video, that with it being on the water especially, and some of the the fact that this song came from the 70s, that we wanted to bring in a little bit of that Wes Anderson feel into the video. So maybe you can talk about some of the shots that we incorporated that kind of had that.
Yeah, we basically wanted to make a music video as if Wes Anderson was making one, and clearly we're not as talented at filmmaking as he is, so it's not exactly like his stuff, but we did a lot of these like hard zoom tactics where like you can see a shot from far away and then it zooms really quickly into the like subject of the shot. That's very, very Wes Anderson, and so we did a lot of that. We did a lot of like very kind of, I don't know if deadpan acting is the right word, but like there's just Wes Anderson just has a vibe about him. And we tried to really capture that vibe.
I'm sure there's specific terminology around some of the tactics he's using, but I feel like it ranges between a very dry, deadpan type emotion to complete extremism on the other end of it.
Yeah.
And so it was really fun to play with those elements, both in how we wrote the story of trying to take the irony of a song that's all about love turning into a song about the three of us all fighting over some treasure and chasing each other around an island, only to have it explode at the very end, which was really fun. So after we'd gotten that opening shot of the boat, we had to then take off and get a lot of shots of us just driving along the lake, which turned out to actually be a little bit more complicated than we had anticipated.
Yeah, our goal was to get out on the lake before people were actually on their boats, but it was like a Saturday, and we did not get out there early enough, and it was very rough, very bouncy, and we were trying to get like smooth shots, and we shot for like 20 minutes. We got like 20 minutes worth of footage and got like a 6-second clip that was long enough to actually use, that was smooth. So that was rough. But then we got to the island, and there's a moment in the video where I'm throwing the anchor off the front of the boat. And it's supposed to be, we've gotten to the island, I'm tossing the anchor out, and we're going to anchor. And I, in my infinite wisdom, was unaware that the anchor was not tied to anything.
Nope.
So I threw it off the front of the boat, and it just starts sinking, and there's nothing that it's attached to. So the rope is going with it, and the rope is like tied up. So it's not like it's out on the water. It's like in a little, ball going down with the anchor. And I wasn't supposed to get wet yet, but I saw the anchor going in, and I was just like, shit. And so I just dove off the front of the boat. And luckily, I actually swam down and caught the anchor before it was lost forever. Luckily for me and William, the long sleeve shirts we were wearing, as soon as we got them wet, we were cool for the rest of the day, because we were like, had these huge shirts that were soaking wet with cold water, and we were good. Sydney, on the other hand, was not. She overheated like hardcore. We had to stop filming a couple times.
I don't know what it was, because I thought I drank plenty of water that day. I don't know if I ate too many donuts at the start of the day. I'm not sure what it was, but there was, for a while, when we were finally shooting all the final things on the island, the shot that you'll see in the video when I've stolen the loot and I kind of turn and give the smirk, I had been sitting down with like my head between my knees for like a good 5 minutes before we got this, and I was like, okay, you gotta look like you're in it, but inside I was just like, oh my god, I think I'm gonna throw up at any given moment. But I don't know, I was so happy by the time that we got home and we were able to piece together everything that we had managed to capture throughout the day. It still just makes me laugh to no end every single time that I watch it.
This video was our decision to purely make something for the fun of it and not worry about how cool it is or how cool we look. I feel like in this industry, we are constantly having to try and be cool. And the reality is, We are not. And so it was really freeing and really fun to just make something absolutely absurd and dumb and childish. And like Sydney said a minute ago, every single time that we watch it, it still makes us laugh and smile. And that's kind of the point. I mean, if you want something that is just so over the top that you can't help but laugh at it, this is the video to watch. You know?
This is the thing to do. And it was really fun. We sent it to Neil Sedaka's team, essentially, after we'd finished it. He's been one of the most consistent artists still playing his music live on YouTube for anyone who follows him, especially through the pandemic. And we sent it to him, and his team emailed us back saying that they had showed it to him and that it had given all of them such a great laugh. And hopefully that's true. Hopefully he actually watched it.
Yeah.
But either way, it was just, I think for us, it was such a simple way of paying homage to both Neil Sedaka, Captain and Tanil, these artists whose music makes us smile and laugh, and it, that gift keeps giving with creativity, is that if you're willing to freely make things based out of the stuff that just makes you smile without question, it's always good for the soul. Just feels great.
This is true.
Thanks so much for watching another Behind the Scenes with Goons. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more Goonie content.